Hi there. Welcome to Apple World We Ride Together. We got together in an awful marriage for life. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are notorious for their effective vocations, and for having perhaps of the longest enduring marriage Hollywood has at any point seen in spite of the long periods of tricking charges, bits of gossip about a despondent dynamic and obviously the trap circumstance that shook the web. Jada and Will have kept a strong front through everything, showing they're genuinely in it for the long stretch, yet we don't know whether they are absolutely staying it out as a result of air obligation to each other, or then again on the off chance that there are a few things that are attempting to avoid the public's eyes and out of the media's scope. For a couple that nearly offers a lot of data about their relationship and family, promising and less promising times, it appears there are a couple of things that Jada and Will need to conceal about their marriage. While a great deal of us went gaga for the stylish 90s photographs of Will and Jada as a youthful couple, the vast majority don't have the foggiest idea that behind their cherished presence was what was happening that elaborated a separation. Will and Jada might have had a perfect, charming second in 1994 when she tried out for the job of the new ruler of Bel Air character's better half, yet Nia Long was picked for the job anyway. The fascination was at that point present in developing, notwithstanding the reality that Will Smith and Cherie Zampino were hitched and had a child together. We'll review that seeing Jada in an alternate world was the point at which he realized that they could be enchanted together. I realized there was something in our energy that would be sorcery. The Hitch entertainer was uncovered during a 2018 episode of Facebook Watch, a casual conversation facilitated by Jada, her girl Willow, her mom Adrian, and Will were correct. Yet their enchantment came at the expense of a separation among Will and Cherie. In spite of the fact that Will wasn't the person who pushed for the separation, regardless of knowing how he had an outlook on Jada, I acknowledged that I wasn't with the individual I should be with. I was sitting in a slowdown, and I was crying and snickering wildly, and I realized Jada was the lady I should be with, but I was never getting separated from her. I don't get to Woodland as uncovered in the casual conversation episode. I returned out, plunked down with Cherie, and began backpedaling on with my life when I had an acknowledgement that I wasn't with the individual I should be with and sought legal separation on Valentine's Day music. Especially against it, he consented to the split genially in 1995, and that is the point at which the connection among Jada and Will began moving towards maximum capacity. They were delightful, youthful, and skilled, and Jada got pregnant with their most memorable kid, Jaden, in 1997, and soon thereafter, he will propose to her. Jada's response was not what you would anticipate from somebody in an otherworldly relationship, while Will was brought up on a more ordinary foundation of marriage and family. Jada wasn't ready for getting hitched in a 2019 main story for individuals. Jada said, "I never needed to get hitched yet. My mom was like, you need to get hitched. She's so old school and will needed a family, so I said, okay, perhaps it's something I ought to do, gammy dag nab Caldwell," and wept hysterically. "So then I need to have a wedding, and that was goading," Jada told the magazine. "I had never seen a blissful marriage I revered. Well, I loved him, yet I simply didn't have any desire to be hitched. We don't know whether that is the correct method for beginning a coexistence with a individual, restricting the association and the other energetic for it. Yet they did it in any case, and keeping in mind that they make a wonderful couple, fans have wondered constantly, assuming Jada was exclusively against getting hitched, or getting hitched to Will after every one of the gigantic shadow that keeps on prowling over their relationship is a dubious companionship that Jada imparted to one late rapper. As Jada and Will's marriage advanced, they turned out to be increasingly more open to examining their elements, yet one thing they never truly got around to is the supposed connection among Jada and the late Tupac checker Jada and Tupac were strict fellowship objectives during the 90s. They had met at the Baltimore Institute of Expressions during the 1980s, and they grew up together, making progress in their vocations. However, their closeness was dependably up for addressing in light of the fact that it seemed like they had something far in excess of a companionship, and it was clear to such an extent that even Will owned up to having an envious outlook on the adoration that they shared. Will told the Morning Meal Club, "That was a major lament for me. They grew up together, they cherished one another, however they never had a sexual relationship, yet presently they had come into that age where that was plausible, and Jada was with Nate. He's setting the 2020 meeting. I was profoundly shaky, and I wasn't man to the point of taking care of that relationship. That was a tremendous laugh meant of mine. I simply didn't. Would I be able to? Couldn't deal with it. However, it appears there could have been a genuine justification for a Will to feel compromised by the connection among Jada and Pac. In 2012, Will Smith shared an image of a letter she once kept in touch with Tupac on Instagram, and the items in the letter were sufficient to cause a commotion about what really occurred between Jada and Tupac. Some time ago, dear Tupac, I knew you were alive somewhere. Willow wrote in the letter, I feel that my mama truly misses you. Might you, at any point, kindly return? So Mom and I can be blissful. I wish you were here. I truly love Willow, and on the off chance that that is adequate not to make anybody stop, we don't have the foggiest idea what's going on with everything. Could Jada have conceivably advised Willow to have her vibe so unequivocally for somebody she never at any point met? Was Jada only discontent with her existence with Will the whole time? Fans couldn't sort it out, and they were properly shocked by the letter that somebody composed on Twitter. I actually can't really accept that Willow, as a kid, wrote a letter telling him to return so Jada could be cheerful, and a few fans were feeling sorry that they would need to manage it. One Twitter client wrote, I simply feel terrible for Will more than anything right now. Like he truly doesn't merit this. Although the first Instagram post of the letter has since been erased, pictures of it have re-emerged throughout the long term, all the more so as of late, when Jada and Will's marriage was standing out as truly newsworthy for the entrapment circumstance well before the scandalous Oscar chunk. All through the years, Will and Jada have managed a few reports and claims, as their strange marriage has, for some time, been the subject of hypotheses. At one go-to person who accepted that they were pleasure seekers and Jada tended to it on the watch, What Have Happened's live show underscoring that. It wasn't correct, however. The reports could generally not have been so surprising to the world as insight about Jada Pinkett Smith having a situationship with American vocalist August Alsina. Jada and August had met at the remote celebration in London in 2015, and afterward, 2 years later, they went to the 2017 Vet Grants together. However, it wasn't sufficient to get individuals scrutinizing their expectations, as it just appeared as though he was a companion of the family. And Jada appeared to affirm this when August was a visitor on the Red Casual Conversation show in 2018. August had come on the show to examine his issues with liquor specs and illicit drug use during the dull period of his life, and Jada presented him as a dear family companion. However, he was in excess of a companion, and the entire circumstance began disentangling on the 1st of July 2020 when August told the Morning Meal Club's Angela Yee that he gave long stretches of his life to Jada when they were in a close connection, and he added that he had Will Smith's approval prior to continuing with the relationship, and the web was burning. Notwithstanding the images that were spilling over from the circumstance, there were certain individuals who didn't completely accept that August was coming clean. Somebody composed on Twitter, "You'll accept the August and Jada circumstance they examined on Breakfast Club." However, it didn't make any difference regardless of whether we accepted it in light of the fact that Jada rushed to address what is going on a day after August's admission. Jada tweeted, "There's a few mendings that need to occur, so I'm carrying myself to the red table." The web expected the disclosures that made certain to occur at the casual conversation, and we were not disheartened. Will and Jada were the only ones in the video, and they began tending to the circumstance by examining their marriage and how August turned into a piece of the circumstance, referring to the 2018 episode of the Red Casual Conversation. Jada discussed how August had been managing a few issues with their assistants, and when she and Will were going through a break, she became engaged with August, discussing their break. Will said, "We concluded we planned to isolate for a while, and you go sort out some way to make yourself blissful, and I'll sort out some way to make yourself cheerful." And afterward, Jada referenced how things advanced from that point as time went on.